What's up, YouTube? Knight's Edge here again. Got another little quick review of a pretty interesting little Kershaw. Before I get into it though, if you're not already, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. If you like the video, subscribe if you want more content. And if you really want to support the channel, go down to the link down below for Patreon. You can join the Patreon. Starts as low as $2 a month, I think. And the tiers go on up from there. All the proceeds from Patreon go to shipping knives and back to the channel content. Really appreciate all my Patreons. Big shout out to y'all, and y'all are one of the reasons I'll keep going. So appreciate it. So this one is Kershaw Boilermaker. It's an older Kershaw. I've had it for a long time. It's kind of like a little beater, but pretty neat looking little knife. Decided, hey man, why don't I do a review on that one? Haven't reviewed it yet. Got a little nick on it on the other side right there. We can talk about that here in a minute. But you got George design, so that's a less George design, which is pretty cool. Pretty unique looking little blade shape. The reason I bought this one actually is because that's my occupation as a Boilermaker. So this is the Kershaw Boilermaker. So I was like, yeah, I gotta have that one. But yeah, I don't really care for the assisted aspect of it too much, but we'll get into more about pros and cons, stuff like that here in a little bit. We'll go ahead and do the specs, get that out of the way. So if you're looking all the way at the tip of the blade, if you go all the way up to the little hump, the deep carry clip, you're looking right about 7 5/8 or so. If you go to the end of the handle, right at 7.5. Blade length back here, if you go to where the choil meets up with the handle, you're looking right at 3.5. And if you go with cutting edge, you are looking right at 3 3/8, maybe a hair below that. So let's get out the calibers here, zero them out. Thickest part of the spine, Kershaw Boilermaker, you're looking at 114 thousandths, and behind the edge, looking at 24 thousandths. So not especially bad there, or kind of average, I guess you could say. Maybe a little on the thicker side, but 0.36 of an inch on the handle, so not a super thick at all handle, really. A little more on the thin side actually on the handle, but not too thin. Feels actually pretty good ergonomically. You only get one choice. That's one of the things that I think they could improve on, whether you can't choke up because of that flipper tab. You do have a little bit of jimping there, kind of makes it a little more comfortable. And you got this kind of swoop up there if you want to reach your thumb out, for whatever, you can do that, and that kind of helps with that. But no more jimping along here, just a little bit right there, which is good. I just wish they would have done some more of it. This is pretty well contoured. The back spacer I think is really neat. I thought that was pretty cool that they put a not just the fact they put a bag spacer in it, that's much appreciated, but also the little kind of zigzag pattern that they did with that. I think that's pretty neat there. Stainless steel on the handle material, not aluminum, it's stainless steel. That's why it's got a little bit of weight to it, actually feels a little bit off balance, really, feeling of it. Feels like the center of gravity is right around here somewhere, which you kind of want it more towards here. That's one of the downsides of it. This really unique looking pattern in the handle is also kind of serves as milling. This hole there kind of serves as milling, for weight reduction as a frame lock. But let's go ahead and get finished with the size comparisons and specs and all that good stuff. We'll do the Ontario Knives Rat Model 1 up against it, and the Ontario Knives Rat Model 2. So kind of in between the two, kind of right in between the two. Definitely more cutting edge than the Rat 2, and right at the same cutting edge as the Rat 1, but a little better blade to handle ratio actually when you look at it. Put those up. Let's do the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. Alright, and the Spyderco pair of 3. So you can kind of see there it is more along the lines of the size of the Paramilitary 2, while overall it is shorter. The blade length is a little more than the Paramilitary 2. And last but not least, we'll get out the cold steel knives 8010. Actually, let me wipe that blade off a little bit. Got a little fingerprint smudge on it. Cold steel knives 8010 and the Demco knives 8020.5, kind of right in between there as well, just like the other ones. But as far as length goes, the 8010 definitely has it beat, and the Boilermaker definitely has the 8020.5 beat as far as length, sharpen edge length at least anyway. All right, let me get out the scale. Kershaw Boilermaker weight. Now this thing is stainless steel. I mean, they did kind of mill out there, got holes and stuff there, kind of serves a design slash jimping, but it still feels fairly heavy. I'm gonna guess, I don't know, probably about 4 ounces maybe. I might be way off on that, but I don't know, maybe 4.5. Yeah, pretty close, 4.4. Closer than I usually am anyway. 4.4 ounces on that, so definitely over the ounce and inch ratio, but not exceptionally heavy. Just a little heavier than it would be if it was aluminum, you know, for sure. There's your blue jeans, deep carry Kershaw clip, no problems there. Carries pretty deep carry, pretty low profile. That's a good thing about it. Some people like assisted knives, some people don't. I don't prefer them. I would rather, you know, a non-assisted, you know, manual, I guess you could call it. This is a manual. It's just assisted. It's kind of right in between, you know, right in between an auto where you just hit the button and it comes out, and, you know, a manual will be something like this where, you know, there's no kind of spring or mechanism that makes it come out, I guess. Let's do a hardware check. I've never taken this thing apart, but in case you would like to, it's a T6 on there, so the body screws appear to be T6s. Yep. That is inset, that screw there. That's a good thing. It's a really good thing, you know. I believe, or no, it's not. I was going to say it might be reversible, but there's nothing here on this side. There's no hole on this side, so it is right-handed only, tip up only, looks like. T6 on the body screws. Again, I love that backspacer. I love they put a backspacer in it. That is another positive for this knife that I like. Captive pivot, that's a good thing. You know, if they would have had T8 for the body screws, you know, I would almost give them like a A+ 100 on the hardware department. But that's a T8 on that pivot there. Captive pivot, good. You know, the hidden on the pocket clip, good, but kind of crappy, or kind of not crappy, but kind of a bummer that's T6 all the way around. You know, that's pretty much it for specs. Overall, I think this is a pretty good knife. It's fairly heavy. I wish the steel was a little better. It says 8CR13. You know, that's one thing I don't like about it. And the other thing, you know, the assisted factor, I don't like that. I would prefer a manual opening knife. The assisted factor, the 8CR13 on the blade, that's something that I kind of dislike about this knife. I like the look of it. I like this bronzed out look. You know, I love the name of it. It's my occupation. Pretty cool. But there's the three things that kind of steer me away from if I was to buy this one again are the fact that this is 8CR13 MOV. It is an assisted knife. I'm not really into assisted knives, especially like I used to be. You know, everybody's taste kind of adapts and changes. This is an example of that. And the last but not least thing would be whenever it came, you know, whenever I got it, I was really disappointed because that said China on it. It was a big visible print right there. It said China. Now this is a USA company, Kershaw, and I get outsourcing stuff, you know, to maintain price or whatever. I would love to see more home manufacturing here in the US, especially for US companies, you know. But if you got to outsource, you know, number one, it'd be pretty cool to try to go to like Taiwan or something, and I'd pay a little more for it. That'd be cool. Or if you do have to go to China, if you do have to do China, I don't want my blade to say China right there. in big letters, you know, especially on a Kershaw knife. What really gets me, the only thing worse than that, and that's why, you know, this is before I had a channel or really had any other expensive pocket knives or anything. This one runs around 30 bucks now. I think it's around 40 or 50 when I bought it, but I was, you know, kind of perturbed about that, and I kind of ground it off right there, and, you know, got the china off of it, and I was like, this is just gonna be a beater, you know. But yeah, and if you look through there, that's another neat little touch is right there. You look through that little cutout window, it says Kershaw. That's pretty cool. But yeah, the only thing that kind of gets, you know, grinds my gears a little more than a USA company right in China, big letters across their blade and outsourcing their stuff to China, is the fact that if the company is like has USA in the name, you know, and it says, and it's actually made in China, that would be the only thing that would be worse, you know, like Buck USA, and then somewhere way around on the knife in a little small print, you see made in China. You know, or you know, something that says assembled in US, you know, and then it is actually made in China. It tends to be, to me, you know, it seems to be misleading, and I might be totally wrong about that. You know, give me your opinion on that in the comments. Correct me. You know, if I'm wrong, I might be 100% wrong on that. But that's just my kind of feelings towards it. The 8CR could be a much better steel. You know, there's knives, especially nowadays, for the price that are, you know, the same price for, this is going for 30 now, which is actually a fairly decent deal on it, if you take away the fact that it's 8CR, you know. But there's knives that are, you know, you can get for the same price that are what I would consider an improvement over this one, that are made in China, but actually by Chinese companies, and not American companies with big huge letters on the blade that say China, you know. Pretty cool design though. I really like the design. It's really neat. Blade shape's pretty cool, pretty unique. If I could get this in a USA made version with a more premium steel, non-assisted, man, this would be an awesome knife. It really would. They did a good job on the handle, you know, even though it's chunky with the steel, you can, you know, the little cutout, they did a good job. It's kind of well rounded there. Like I said earlier, I love that backspacer, love that pocket clip. Frame locks up pretty good, you know, no issues there. So yeah, that is the Kershaw Boilermaker, and I'll have it linked down below if you're interested. Use my affiliate link, it helps the channel out. If not, that's fine too, it's totally up to you. Hit the like button if you liked the video, subscribe to the channel if you want more content, and I will oh, and the Patreon, if you want to join the Patreon, support the channel, hey, that would be awesome. Links down below for Patreon. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.